Welcome back to the Explainer. So, you've studied the structure, you've really put in the hours, and boom, you've officially reached the Day 21 bonus. Today, we're focusing entirely on what I like to call the final hurdle, the smart contract code review. It's time to put your code to the absolute test. Since you know Solidity. Now, that phrase right there, that signals a massive shift in your journey. We're definitely not in beginner territory anymore. You already understand the language, but now you're officially crossing the threshold. We're moving from simply, writing lines of code to actively securing and defending them like a pro. Let's be real, writing smart contracts is one thing, but making sure they're completely bulletproof, that is the real challenge. Because blockchains are inherently immutable, right? You can't just, push a quick patch on a Friday afternoon if something breaks in production. A simple mistake here isn't just a tiny bug. We're talking about a catastrophic loss of funds. So think of this Day 21 bonus review process as your ultimate survival guide to defending your code in a highly hostile environment. All right, let's step into the review gauntlet. First up, reentrancy. In the realm of smart contracts, guys, this is the big one, the heavy hitter. Basically, this happens when an external contract hijacks your function and literally calls it again before your first execution even gets a chance to update its state. It's wild. You absolutely must relentlessly review your code to make sure you're consistently using the checks, effects, interactions pattern. That is how you lock this vulnerability out for good. Moving right along, next on the checklist, we have access control. Now, I know it sounds super simple, but during a rigorous review, you have to verify exactly who holds the keys to every single function. Think about it. If you miss an only owner modifier, or say you just slightly misconfigure your role-based access, literally anyone could walk right through the front door of your contract. There is absolutely zero room for ambiguity here. And that brings us to our third point, integer issues. Now, I can already hear some of you saying, wait, don't modern Solidity versions have built-in overflow and underflow checks? And you're right, they do. But your math isn't perfectly safe just yet. You still have to really watch out for things like precision loss, unchecked blocks, or a classic mistake, dividing before you multiply. Honestly, the smallest overlooked mathematical detail can completely shatter your contract's logic. Okay. Let's shift gears a bit for the fourth item, which is gas optimization. Now, this one isn't actually about malicious attacks. This is all about peak efficiency. Remember, every single operation costs gas. So if you're needlessly reading from storage instead of, caching it to memory, your code is simply going to be way too expensive to run. Honestly, nailing gas optimization proves you're a master craftsman, making sure your contract runs as cheaply and smoothly as possible. Finally, we arrive at the last challenge of the gauntlet, upgradability. As we established earlier, once a contract is deployed, it's inherently immutable. So you might be wondering, how do you actually fix a bug later down the line? Well, you have to plan for it from day one, typically by using proxy patterns. During your code review, it's absolutely crucial that you ensure your proxy implementations and storage layouts are rock solid and won't result in some catastrophic data collision. So there it is, the big picture. Reentrancy, access control, integer issues, gas optimization, and upgradability. This is the definitive, unyielding gauntlet that every single smart contract must survive. No skipping steps, no taking shortcuts. This 5-step checklist is basically your ultimate shield, and quite frankly, it's what separates the amateurs from the true professionals in this space. But hey, here is some really good news for you. You don't actually have to face this entire gauntlet manually. Let's pivot and talk about your automated arsenal. To really conquer this checklist, Slither and Solhint are absolute essentials. Slither acts as your static analysis powerhouse. It's going to hunt down those complex vulnerabilities for you. Meanwhile, Solhint acts as your linter, enforcing best practices and keeping your code incredibly clean. Put them together, and they form the absolute foundation of a professional review workflow. So your code is written. You know Solidity. But will it survive the review? Seriously, will it make it past the devastating threats of reentrancy, access flaws, and gas bloat? Well, it's time to find out. Take Slither, take Solhint, and take this Big 5 checklist directly into your own projects. The real test begins right now. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I absolutely cannot wait to see you conquer the gauntlet.